Hey, what's going on, film fans? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is The Usual Skeptics. Here we talk entertainment news, movie, streaming reviews, fan-related content, all that sorts of good stuff. We are here once again to talk Obi-Wan Episode 4 spoilers. We are talking in-depth of the episode, things we liked, didn't like, all that kind of good stuff. My name's Gabriel. This is Wes Rathbone, co-host today here. Again, just talking about this episode. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well, my friend. Uh, Short episodes, but we'll get into it. I'm really excited to talk about this, so let's go ahead and dive right in. By the way, it is a spoiler review, so uh, please go watch it if you haven't, and then come back to us. We'll talk about it.
Yes, sir, we will indeed. Okay, so we're not going to waste any more time here. If you've noticed, we did not have an episode 3 video up. We were both quite busy last week, had a lot of stuff going on, out of town, all that kind of good stuff, so we didn't do that. There's really nothing to talk about as far as last episode kind of leading up to here, other than Obi-Wan. You know, he got injured during just a little episode 3 recap, fought Vader, and he was injured,
amazing, by the
which
way.
was pretty dope, not gonna lie. We can have our thoughts and opinions on the fight in and of itself. I kind of, in my opinion, I thought it was a little rushed. It didn't feel earned like I kind of maybe wanted it to be. I don't know, maybe watching it again I would be like, okay, maybe I don't feel like that. But upon first viewing, I felt, they're building up to the Vader and Obi-Wan clash. You would think there'd be a little more, I don't know, a little more oomph to that scene. The fight was great, if you could call it a fight. The confrontation is the word I like to use with them too. You had Obi-Wan kind of having a PTSD moment of realizing Anakin's alive, and he has become and that great line, by the way, of "What have you become?" And he's just like, I've become what you made me. And it was so dope, so awesome. So we ended up, or started this episode with Obi-Wan kind of, rejuvenating himself in the back to tank, trying to heal up and all that kind of stuff. I thought overall, I like the episode. I do. I thought it was a good episode. But God, it needed some more time to breathe. This episode, it flowed. It did. It had great pacing and all that kind of stuff. Ewan McGregor is great as always as Obi-Wan. He's honed in that character. I loved kind of finding him, where he's at mentally, physically, and all that kind of stuff with the Force. We see him use the Force a little bit more in this episode, which I thought was interesting. I thought that, part where he's kind of holding that glass back and,
Right.
that water coming in, that was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I did not think he was going to use the Force. I thought he would just, hold him off long enough just for so I thought that
I
was cool.
really, yeah, no, I thought it was really cool too. I thought that, because he's been away from the Force for, so long that,
Right.
He's still trying to hone in his skills and do stuff like that. Like the first time he used it, whenever those stormtroopers were kind of walking behind him and almost to him, he used it to make the sound of something, hitting,
Yes.
whenever So
Yes.
I was like, okay,
Which he
cool.
did in A New
So he's
Hope.
starting
When he turned off the thing. That was that was a cool little Easter
So
egg,
like,
but yeah, it was pretty cool.
he's trying to, get into that, and I was like, okay, so it's starting to come back to him. So it's more
Using it more
believable
regular,
to
right.
me whenever he is holding up the glass and doing all that. Do you know what I mean? I was like, okay, so it's coming back to him. So
Right.
I really enjoyed the episode, but I do agree with you. I think it felt kind of rushed, like we've talked
Yeah.
about before on some of these. It's just these short episodes, man, they kind of kill me. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
so short, and you're just like, ugh, there's like 8 minutes worth of credits. Like you could use that to make 8 minutes worth of great stuff. Like I don't
Right.
care to read
Yeah.
the credits in Chinese. Sorry, I don't care
That's true.
at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I really don't. So,
Whoever puts the work into those credits is doing a fantastic job for sure. But if we could cut those down,
you're not needed, sir. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
care. I'll be honest with you. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah, for the sake of a 7-minute long credit thing, I can't remember
Right.
if it was Miss Marvel or Obi-Wan at the end of the episode. It was literally 6 minutes and some change. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, it was
Anyway,
It
I
was
mean, was
Obi-Wan
it
for
Obi-Wan?
sure.
Okay, I thought it
Mhm.
was because I was curious, and we've talked ad nauseum before, over and over again, because we are in it's a busy time right now with Disney Plus. Today was the first day Disney Plus tried something new, which I can't believe it's taken them this long, in my opinion, to have two Prime shows going on at the same time. I mean, both can have their pros and cons as to, doing that versus doing, because it was Loki. If you remember, it was Loki that they went to the Wednesday model, because it was
Mhm.
Fridays. Because I remember Mandalorian Fridays, it was awesome. And it kind of led you through the weekend. Having it in the middle of the week, I thought kind of felt, Wednesday, let's go. But they've been doing that in the past several shows, so it kind of just, we kind of got into that.
Falls in line.
Right, kind of falls in line. So you kind of just felt comfortable with it. I mean, and we'll adapt. We're audience, we'll adapt. But just wrap that up real quick. Yes, I mean, having the Wednesday model, I thought worked because you're like, okay, here's a Prime show, we're going to watch it, and here's another Prime show, watch it. But you're right. I mean, this episode felt pretty rushed, although I thought the cadence of it definitely the most action packed of
Oh yeah,
the series
I
so
thought it was
far.
great, man.
All of it was very, very good. I do have a couple negatives here. Feeling rushed, probably one of those. Another thing I want to talk about character wise is everyone has done fantastic in the show, in my opinion. I've had a lot of people comment on, is it Moses Ingram that plays a third sister, or
Yeah.
Reva
Mhm.
in the show? I
Real
liked her in
example.
the first few episodes. I did. I really enjoy Moses Ingram. Queen's Gambit. I think she's a phenomenal talent. I think she's very, very good actress. Having her in the first few episodes, I heard a lot of people be like, she's one note, you know, and I can, on one hand, I can see that, but I didn't honestly feel that. I never felt like that. Like I felt this character needed. She was playing the character exactly the way it needed to be. This episode, though, I felt it. I felt that she was fairly one note. I felt like she was off this episode. Am I alone in that?
Yeah.
What's your sentiment on that?
No, I completely agree.
Like
Like the
something was
first
off.
three episodes, I was like, man, like I
I kind
really
of dug
enjoyed
it.
it. We talked
Yeah,
about this. We
yeah,
talked about it. I was like, man,
yeah.
like did a great job
Right.
of being the villain. And today I was just like, it's kind of like
Something
monotone,
was
man.
off. Yeah, it was almost one
Something was
note,
off.
and I'm like, this isn't the same character last week. Like I really liked her last week. Like she was, I'm not saying she was outdoing Ewan or, Kid Leia or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but I thought, I mean, the scene with her and Owen Lars talking, Uncle
Right.
Owen, I love that confrontation. I thought that was pretty,
Yeah.
pretty, pretty neat in the
Mhm.
first episode. So I thought she was really good, but for some reason, this episode, she fell off. And I don't know what it was. Maybe she was just having a bad day. Maybe it was the direction. I don't really know. But again, and it bothers me because when you see somebody that's very talented and very good, once you see them tune, in this case acting, once you see them perform and it's not quite up to par as we're used to, it throws you off. I mean, we have
Yeah.
those actors out there that, we've seen Bruce Willis, he's great, but when he's just trying to pay bills, when he kind of comes in roles and he's just sleepwalking through the whole thing, it's like, really?
Oh, you mean Red?
Or like in Red, some of the Die Hard movies, it's like, dude, like, are you okay? Right now, just to note, Bruce Willis has been going through some mental problems. He's been diagnosed with I can't remember the name of that
We were talking about
disorder,
whenever
but
he needed the money and he could act. Okay,
right,
we ain't
and
talking
that, I
about
mean,
his mental
that's
breakdown. I
fine,
mean, so
right? But I mean, at the same time, I mean, we have those actors that we kind
mhm.
of feel like, oh man, but that's too bad, because you feel it once you're hooked on an actor in the role, and then in the same role, whether it's a movie or a TV show, and maybe it was the writing. I don't know. It's really hard to pinpoint exactly what was going on. But again, I don't know if it was direction or what. But I thought Moses Ingram felt a little bit off, and her acting felt very one note, echoing a lot of the other a lot of people that I've been hearing the past several weeks of her acting, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel that way. Well, this episode, I did feel that. So that's interesting because I didn't think you would have had the same sentiment there, but
Oh no, no,
because
I
we
don't
have
think
went
that was
on to say that this character is pretty dope. So I thought that was one that really stood out to me as far as the character feeling. Vader wasn't in it much like he was prominently in it last week's episode, but you
I
can't
feel
really
it's coming.
comment on. It's coming. I
I
mean,
feel it's
we
coming.
got 2 episodes left. One other thing I want to note here, and this is what led me. It was about this time that I felt a little dubious about Moon Knight. Was in Moon Knight, if you see Moon Knight, the episode where they die, where Handsome Hawk kills him, and then he is in the
Who's
after
Handsome Hawk?
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, it's not Handsome Hawk.
It's
Hold on,
Handsome
that's
Hawk.
Harold. Let's just for goodness
Handsome
sake.
Harold Hawk.
He's
Anyway,
not been hot in a minute, bro.
he's a pretty handsome fella. Going back to an interview he did a while back, Handsome Hawk. When Harold kills him, that whole next week's episode, even though I liked the episode, I kind of felt like, okay, they're gonna have to wrap up so much by the finale. And we see what happened with the Moon Knight finale. I'm not gonna lie, dude, I'm a little worried going into episodes 5 and 6. We got 2 episodes left. Let's go off the assumption that it's 45 minutes apiece because, again, length. We're not going to go into that again. But I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm a little bit worried here. I'm not loving Obi-Wan as much as I thought I was going to. I love the first episode. You and me, we've went on to say we love the first episode. The second episode was quite solid. I liked it very much. Little bit. I'm not going to say a step down because it was telling a different episode. It was telling a
I don't
different,
know. I really enjoyed the third episode too.
well, that's what I was
But
going to say. The third episode was fantastic. And then this episode, I'm not loving it like I've loved the first half of Moon Knight or WandaVision or, like there's not much, even though I didn't overall like Loki, like I thought it was okay. I liked Loki, but
right.
I kind of feel like Loki was interesting. Like it kept my interest, right? Obi-Wan, it's beginning, I'm not going to say it's losing my interest, but it's beginning to feel a lack of an overall narrative. And we're over halfway through the season. We're over halfway through, and it doesn't feel like what's the story here. Now, obviously, it's about getting Leia back, but really, you've had however many long years to plan out an Obi-Wan story, and the best you can think of is, the whole season is Obi-Wan getting Leia back to Bail. Like, I'm really confused. And I am worried for the next couple episodes. I'm excited to see what happens because we're obviously getting a Vader and Obi-Wan fight again. I'm not saying we're going to see it next episode, but by the finale for sure. So that's kind of my overall thoughts and positives and negatives as far as that goes. Do you have any negatives or positives that kind of stand out to you as far as, Vader? He wasn't in it really enough for me to make a observation, positive or negative, although it was pretty dope how he came in the room and he's just force choking Reva. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, daddy's mad, Daddy Vader's here. So
yeah, I have a couple of positives for me that was like, I was just like, man, this is I told you, like, I'm not one to like, I didn't know if I'd really be into this because I wasn't really into Star Wars, but
and we've talked about that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I was really into this, the first 3 episodes. And this one, the positives that I had, because we've already went over our negatives, I don't want to, repeat anything. But my positives, man, one of my favorite scenes that they had in there is whenever she locked Leia in that like machine looking thing, and the lights cut off and it's just red, and all of a sudden you just see a lightsaber
blue.
And it's, like that was baller.
Love the lightsaber
I
action.
loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
That was
I thought it was
cool.
great. That was awesome. Also, I love to see Ice Cube's son who is
I
who's
thought that
playing
was
that.
Ice Cube's son,
Yeah, bro.
O'Shea
Okay,
Jackson.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
I
I
thought
love him as
that was pretty
an
cool.
actor.
Yeah, yeah, he's very
You know,
good. Yeah.
Straight Outta Compton,
Yep,
one like another film that I really enjoyed.
I like that one.
I like old school hip hop, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I really like him as an actor. I think he does a great job as an actor. So I was really excited to see him in there. I was like, all right, man, like this is pretty cool. Um, what's the other thing that I wanted to go over? Um, I think we may have went over it already. You just said it. The like whenever he comes in and he force chokes her.
Yeah,
That was one of my other favorite scenes that I had. Um, you know, there was a lot of good things about this.
there
You know what I'm
was
saying?
there was, and it
But
made yeah.
I really
I
did
agree.
feel like it was rushed. I'm, you know, for me, not being too much of a Star Wars fan, but really enjoying this series, I'm looking forward to the next two episodes. Uh,
Hmm.
I hope that they bring closure back into everything. I mean, I think every series has that one episode that kind of, you know, is like, uh, you know, downfall, and then
Right,
you know, it can either come back up or it'll
right.
shoot right back down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So maybe this was that lull episode. You know what I mean?
I could see that.
Another thing is like I felt like um, you know, third sister, whenever she's sitting there and it's at the very last scene whenever they come to rescue them, and the you know those fighter things or whatever shooting
Oh,
at them,
the snow
the
trooper
snow things,
looking thing. Yeah.
you know, and she's sitting there like literally probably it looked like 10 feet away from this from this plane
Yeah.
looking thing.
It even held
I'm
on
like,
that shot where she's like this big and that it's like boop,
correct.
boop, boop, boop.
I'm like,
And it
why
was
wouldn't you
like,
just jump up and hit it with your lightsaber?
yeah,
Because you have enough of the force to do that. Do you know what I mean? That's how I felt. And
right,
I'm
right.
like,
It's like do
and then
something. Right.
instead, she used the force to grab this, you know, power pack
She ended
and
up
throw it
doing
on
it
him.
anyway. It's like, why
And
didn't you
I'm
do
like,
that a second
why
ago?
didn't you just do that before? Anyway,
Because plot
that's a
armor,
little
Wes, because
that's a little
plot
pet
armor.
whatever. That's a little pet peeve of mine. But
Yeah, I see that.
the one thing I wanted to say, I remember now because of that scene, is
Oh,
like I
yeah.
really
Yeah.
enjoyed whenever they were in that tunnel underneath the water, and Obi-Wan is one of my favorite things is like whenever I was watching the old shows, whenever he's using the lightsaber to kind of,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
block
Yeah.
all the shots and stuff. I was like, oh,
That's pretty
dude,
cool.
old school. I love it. And then at the same
Yeah.
time, I look over at my wife and I was like, the stormtroopers still can't shoot for shit.
No.
Like
Well, the helmets though. I mean, there's very limited,
that's
field
what,
of view.
dude.
Yeah.
Funny thing, she said the same thing.
Did
She was
she?
like, "How would you shoot if you had a big helmet on?" And
Oh
I
my god.
said, "Well, I wouldn't. Do you see Third Sister have a helmet on? These idiots walk around in them. Like, no wonder they can't shoot anything."
Oh my
So,
god.
uh,
Oh my god. One thing I completely forgot about, and we shouldn't because I feel like this is. I'm not going to say that it was my favorite moment of the episode, but it is something interesting that I think they're going to touch on again. But dude, when Obi-Wan's walking through what he called a tomb,
a
and he had
tomb,
all the
yes.
Jedi, I
Oh
thought that
yeah.
was interesting. I'm like, okay, I was expecting to see maybe some cameos, maybe not
My wife,
cameos,
my wife was
but
like, I was so waiting for them to pass like Padme or something like that. And I
oh
was
my
like,
god, or like
yeah,
Mace Windu or something like
yeah,
that.
right,
Yeah, that'd have been
right.
dope. How morbid would it be to see at first glance you thought it was maybe Grogu and
Right.
it turns out to be someone else? Because dude, that would freak
Yeah.
everybody. But wait, what? I thought that would have been kind of funny. No, I mean, I thought that was
Well,
interesting. I think they're going to touch on that again. But you're right. I mean, I feel
other
like
than that though, like I really
yeah,
enjoyed the
I
episode. I
did.
really did like the
I did
pace.
too. Yeah.
I liked the fight scenes, like I said. Like I really enjoyed the old school, you know, where they're blocking, you know, the stormtrooper stuff, you know,
Right.
like I said, like I really like that's what I enjoyed, you know.
And this
And
episode
we're
has a lot of
getting
rewatchability to it. This
correct. And
episode
we're
has,
watching
from the action to the pacing and all that
right.
kind of stuff. It definitely has a rewatchability factor, which
Right, right,
I
right.
take into consideration when I watch things. I'm like, do I watch this 6 months from now, 3 weeks from now? a year from now, like, I'm not saying every episode has to be as good as, a Breaking Bad episode, but I'm like,
Well,
you know what I
what
mean?
I'm enjoying the most out of this is like, yeah, nothing's gonna. I mean, Breaking Bad's amazing, but
Oh, it's,
right. So,
I'm not saying
but
Obi-Wan's as good as Breaking Bad. I'm just saying.
yeah. So, basically, what I'm enjoying the most, to be honest with you, is like the lightsabers and stuff like that, man. Like that's
It
you
does
you
feel
didn't
good to
get
see
that in
lightsabers.
Mandalorian. You didn't get that in,
Nope. At least
Boba
not
Fett. It's
much. Yeah.
not much. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this one, it's like we've had 3 episodes where they're all about it, man.
All about
So
it.
like I really enjoy it, like
I do too.
that's, whenever I go to Disney in December, that's one of the things I'm looking most forward
Got
to is
to.
making my own lightsaber, you know what I'm saying?
Got
And
to, man. Yeah.
making the droids. So but I mean that's what me being a non really enthusiastic Star Wars fan, that's what I enjoy.
And to me, that makes
You
me
know what I
happy
mean?
because I feel like a person can be happier with Star Wars in their life. That works. Look, I'm not a big fan of Star Wars animation. Not a big fan of
Mhm.
Clone Wars. I actually think it's quite bad. Bad Batch. I thought the first episode, at least first couple episodes, was pretty dope. Ended up being like, yep, nope, I'm good. Rebels, it has its fan base, but it just didn't work for me. I don't think Rebels is trash. It just didn't work it didn't connect with me. But Visions, I thought a couple episodes worked for me. Overall, there's just kind of one-off stories. Kind of the same way how I feel about What If. Like there's a couple pretty good episodes. The rest of it, I'm like, meh. So not big on animation, but I mean, but like I said, I mean, you're right. When it comes to, you know, people enjoying Star Wars, I don't care what it is. If you have Star Wars in your life, whether you're a fan of Rebels, Clone Wars, the prequels, even, I think the prequels are hot garbage. But if you're a fan of anything Star Wars, I think your life is better. I think your life is
Right,
better
right.
than one who doesn't like Star Wars. But I mean, like you said, pretty solid episode. I'm not hating Obi-Wan. I haven't seen an episode yet. We're 4 episodes in. I haven't seen one yet where I'm like, ooh, this was not a good episode. But there
Right, right.
have been some head scratching moments. I'm so worried about the next 2 episodes. I feel like it's kind of undermining and overshadowing my thoughts on this episode. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mhm.
feel like my focus on something that hasn't even happened yet is, that's taken a front seat to what I should be feeling and what I should be talking about in this episode because I'm so wrapped up in,
Right,
man,
right.
how are they going to wrap up 5 and 6? And
Well,
I try not to do that, but I can't help but to do that because episode
right.
1, that you're setting the stage. I loved episode 1. I thought it was great. Second episode is about story. Okay, what's the story of the season, right? By the end of
Mhm.
episode 1, we know where it's going. Episode 2 was like, okay, let's get into it, right? Episode 3, I thought was great. And then
Mhm.
this episode's like, come on. And to me, it's following a formula now. There's been several MCU shows that have done that where it's like, it's great, great,
Yeah.
great, great. And then hits their toe on a Lego or corner of your furniture, and it's like it slows you down. And
Right.
I am worried about 5 and 6. Who knows? I mean, Disney Plus
Well,
has,
I mean, who does know? But
yeah,
we'll
it is
figure it
what it is.
out.
Yeah,
We'll be doing another
that we
spoiler
will.
review whenever that one comes out. All right, man. So that being said, let us know what you think about the episode. We're definitely going to be doing these for the last 2 episodes that we've got left. We'd love for you to hear from you guys, and you can find me at on Twitter at West Rathbone 86. So I've enjoyed this, man. Gabe, tell them where they can find you.
All right. You can find me simply at Voice of Film. Just search that on TikTok and Twitter. At TikTok, I talk basically about the same stuff here, just more kind of in person, kind of feel more a little bit down to earth, but I post daily videos over there. So feel free to go check that out. Again, just simply at Voice of Film. You can find me there on TikTok and Twitter. Well, Wes, it's been fun, man. What did you think about the episode? Like you said, be sure to drop your comments down below. Let us know. Be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, and continue to follow us for
All
daily
of
videos and
those.
all that kind of stuff. it's been fun. Can't wait to see episode 5. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it's a better episode. I want it to be good. I want it to be great. You know, we talked about the MCU, how you kind of drift off and they pull you back in. Hopefully Star Wars is able to pull us back in full force. Let's get the episode 1 and 3 vibes. Anyway, again, it's been fun. We've been Usual Skeptics, and we'll see y'all in the next video.